Okay, guys, our topic for English today, we're going to park grammar for now and we're going to talk poetry. I love poetry. So there are different kinds of poetry. Okay, there are poems that have some kind of sound pattern, like rhyming. You remember how I used to tease Tristan that he's not very good in rhyming, but there are poems that rhyme. There are the sounds are placed in such a way um, that will hold the poem together. Okay, so some poems don't rhyme, but sometimes they include sound effects. So, like what we were studying back in class, we were talking about alliteration, where each word begins with the same letter, like Peter Piper pick a peck of pickled pepper. It all starts with P. That's kind of an alliteration. And we also talked about onomatopoeia, where the word itself sounds like what it is. Like when you say bang, okay, it sounds like what you hear when there is a bang, okay? So those are different types of poems. Now, other poems also have um, a beat, like the iambic pentameter. Okay, so the iambic pentameter is usually what Shakespeare writes. So, guys, they're saying that's why Shakespeare's plays are very, very appealing, or people get attracted to it because of the iambic pentameter. So, it's like 15 beats. And apparently, it's very similar to the heartbeat of our heartbeat. So when you read it out loud, it sort of beats with your heart. That's why people are attracted to it or really like it. Okay. So, but today we're going to talk about haiku. So, a haiku, okay, you can read here. Although you don't hear rhyme or rhythm when you read a haiku aloud, each line of the poem has a certain number of syllables. Okay, so each line in the poem has to have a certain number of syllables. Now, you know what a syllable is, all right? How a word is divided. Okay, so I'm going to show that to you here. Okay, so what is the pattern of a haiku? So the first line has 5 syllables, the second line has 7, and the last line is 5. So it's a really short poem. Okay, so where I'm going to read this poem and then I'm going to clap to make sure that it has 5. Okay, so the title of this poem is Canary. So I'm going to clap whether this has 5 syllables, the next one is 7, and the next one is 5 again. Okay. So when my canary flew away, that was the end of spring in my house. Sorry, I messed up in the second one. But you can see if you clap, you say, when my canary flew away, that was the end of spring in my house. Okay, so the next one is city winter. Okay, so I want you to read it out loud and I want you to clap and make sure that there are 5 syllables in the first line, there are 7 syllables in the second line, and there are another 5 syllables in the third line. So clap as I read, okay? Well, you read it first quietly and then you clap as you read it. Okay, so now I'm going to read it and then you clap along. Crazy confetti whirling in a soft glow is snow in the streetlight. So it's really, really short. Now, um, so when you write your haiku, because that's going to be your assignment after this lesson, so when you write a haiku, this is really what a haiku is. So the first one is it describes something in nature. So it has to be something in nature that you're trying to describe. Like our examples, they're talking about the canary, and here they're talking about snow. Okay, so it's talking about a street light, but it really is talking about snow, how the author is comparing it to a crazy confetti. Okay, so it describes something in nature, and a haiku brings a specific picture or image to the reader's mind. So when you write your haiku, make sure that you will guarantee that when the reader reads your haiku, he can picture it, or she can picture it in her head or his head. Okay, so the haiku, guys, originated in Japan. Okay, so the first haiku was created by Japanese many, many years ago. So when you hear haiku, it does kind of sound like a Japanese word. So haiku is a type of poem that follows a specific syllable pattern, which is 575. So after this, go to your classwork, okay? Go to your classwork and see what you need to do for me. Very, very short, okay? All right. Bye, guys. I miss you.